When the piglets are taken away from the mother, they're transferred from the farrowing house. They come out this door behind me here, and they're transferred to the nursery. They're weighed here, and again you'll notice everything is under cover. So when the piglets come out, they don't get any shock to the system. There's no rainwater falling out. And all the family stays together. They're not separated. They stay together and taken to the nursery. This is where the pigs are transferred into when they come from the labour stables, farrowing stables. They're moved in here. We have insulated panels, special insulated panels, which are 88 millimetres of insulation, which in the summertime they keep the heat out and maintain the correct temperature inside, and in the wintertime they keep the cold out and keep the heat in. So we have the same on the roof. We have an insulated panel on the roof also to allow the light in. It's very important that the pigs are maintained at the correct temperature at all times. So this is a special panel which is suitable for pig buildings only. It also keeps the vermin out. There's no place for vermin to hide anywhere. So everything is completely clean. These panels are washed down after every batch. Here is the nursery. We have to keep the temperature here up around 28 degrees all the time. So we have the cover down when they are younger. So they have a kind of a two-tier environment. They can go under the cover and it's at 28 degrees, come outside it, and it's a little bit cooler for them. And according to they get older, we raise up the cover. We don't need to keep the temperature is not as critical as the pigs get older. The ventilation system again and heating system controls that as they get older, it drops degrees. When they come into these houses, they have the same red heated flooring. So there is no shock to the system. We have the creep feeders which they're used to feeding this feed in the farrowing rooms. It's fed about 10 days before they're transferred there. And then they have the water drinkers. It's very important that they get a lot of water at this early stage. We have this wet feed crop. So when the pigs are maybe here about 10 days, they're introduced to wet feed. It comes in these lines, on the two lines mixed together. We have a special pig-friendly trough made of stainless steel. And we have especially designed so here there is none slip. The piglets stand up here, and we have it shaped up so their legs doesn't slip when they're eating. And even this is a dribble bar so that there's no feed wastage. Now these trucks are designed by ourselves. We got a fella to fabricate them because we monitored the pigs on which way was the best way they'd eat and which was the best way they wouldn't waste feed. So we also have it here where they have the option of dry feed. You have a little spinner that's there, so the piglets move that, and they can get the feed as fresh at all times. Then they can get fresh water here also at all times. And then we can empty out the system, spring loaded, very easy clean. In this house we also have all plastic flooring. Again, it's the same as in the farrowing stables for them. It's better for their feet. Again, to enhance them, we have this football. In Kerry, we teach our pigs to play football. We take it so seriously. So, it helps them and it takes away the boredom. The pigs spend about 8 weeks in the nursery. They come in one door, and to avoid stress, they come out the opposite door here, which is under a covered passageway. And crossing here even, it's covered, so the piglets do not get wet at any stage. They're taken in groups of families together, weighed and transferred into each individual house, which is fully have been washed, disinfected and prepared from. And they finish up inside. This is the type of house they finish up inside. This is the finisher rooms. When they come in here, if their feed trucks are the same design, only a little bit bigger. Everything is much the same. Family of the pigs are kept together. Ventilation is the same natural light coming in. Feeding system is the same, 2 feed lines coming in, and they're fed with probe fed ad lib to keep the feed fresh at all times. Here we have a hospital isolation unit, which is for the piglets. If they get sick for any reason, they're transferred in here, treated and allowed to recuperate and move back into the system again when they get older and once they're fully recuperated. So we have one of these in every unit. We have one in farrowing stables, we have one in weaner stables, nursery, and one in fattening stables. Here is probably one of the most modern outloading facilities anywhere in the world. They're all loaded under cover. Our main aim is avoid stress. Pigs are taken out from the house in batches, weighed in the weighing scales, and they're run into chutes which are level at all times. There's a purpose-built trailer with a complete rising deck. So when the pigs go into it, they're closed into individual sections and it's raised and locked into position before the next lot are loaded again. This is the way we load our pigs out a few times a week this way. After every batch goes out, everything is washed down and is ready for the next batch to go again. Here I can even connect onto anywhere in the pig farm through the iPhone. Check ventilation, check feeding systems, check heating, any of the records on the farm like numbers born, pigs weighed, everything I can check. If there's a problem, if the alarm goes off, it sends me a message. I can go onto the iPhone and check see what this alarm is, and 99% of the time can correct it over the iPhone. This is the most modern technology. You can do this from anywhere in the world.
So this is where our raw material comes in to the mill, is transferred across to where we add the minerals, and then from there it goes across to the top of the mixer and goes straight through the mixer until it's fully mixed and transferred to our finished feed bins. And all this mill is completely controlled from our control room. We are here in the control room for the mill and for our feed system. And we can see our mill on this screen and what it has done, what we have in stock as regards raw material and finished feed. So our raw materials come in along these conveyors into our storage bins, mainly wheat, barley, soya. And when we start up the mill, it takes in raw material through the weir and into the mill where it's crushed, and it moves along where we add the minerals, and it moves from there and straight through the mixer. And from this stage, it goes into our finished feed bins. And we go from here to our wet feed mixing computer. Our wet feed bins mixed here is then mixed in our wet tanks, so as it's made into a wet ration and pumped from here through pipes out to all our 5 houses in the piggery for the pigs to eat. We feed our pigs wheat, barley and soya. It is not the cheapest way to feed our pigs, but we have total control of exactly what we feed our pigs with, which is most important. We use no byproducts whatsoever in our system. So the system is totally automatic. It feeds the pigs through the 24-hour cycle, and it monitors how much they get and how much they need. We have a HACCP plan which involves keeping all records of bins which are cleaned once a week. All our records must be kept, and all loads in, all materials out must be recorded on all these recording sheets here.
Our motto is to produce pork to the highest standards of anywhere in the world in the most natural environment as possible.